this diary, I'd thought Shelley was at the wind-up, especially since I'd been having one of my periodic anti-monarchy rants only the day before, triggered by the heir to the throne asserting that what was wrong with the country was not enough Shakespeare and smacking of small children. Once I realised the appointment was for real, I'd expected some chinless wonder, with the sort of inbred stupidity that's only found among the aristocracy and the population of isolated mountain villages. I couldn't have been more wrong, on both counts. Henry Naismith was in his late 20s, built like an Australian lifeguard, with the blonde hair to match, and with more than enough chin to provide a boxer with a target. According to Who's Who, his only listed recreations were sailing and ocean yacht racing, something I could have guessed for myself the first time I saw him. He had sailor's eyes, always looking beyond me to some distant horizon only he could see. His face was burnished a ruddy brown by wind and sun, apart from the white creases round those dark blue eyes. He'd been educated at Marlborough and New College, Oxford. Even though I'd grown up there, I didn't think his city of dreaming spires and mine of car factories would give us much in common to reminisce about. He had the same clipped accent as Prince Charles, but in spite of that and everything else, I liked him. I liked anybody who was prepared to get off their backsides and graft. And Henry could graft, no messing. Anyone who tells you yacht racing is a holiday doesn't know an anchor from a wanker. The newspaper archive database that we use had coloured in the outline. Henry had inherited his title, a black and white Tudor manor house in Cheshire, a clutch of valuable paintings, and not a lot of readies, a couple of years before when his parents had been caught in an avalanche in some chic alpine resort. Henry had been sailing in the Caribbean at the time. Life's a bitch and then you marry one. Only Henry hadn't. Married, that is. He was right up there in the gossip columnists' lists of eligible bachelors. Maybe not in the top 20 on account of the lack of dosh, but the good looks and the tasty gaff put him in the running nevertheless. Henry had come to us precisely because of the serious deficiencies in the cash flow area. Because his father hadn't anticipated dying at the age of 47, he hadn't got round to the sort of arrangements the landed gentry usually make to avoid the exchequer getting their mitts on the widow's mite. Having done his sums, Henry realised the only way he was going to be able to hang on to the house and the art collection and still spend half the year at the helm of a racing yacht was to bite the bullet and open Birchfield Place to the day trippers. The great British public are notoriously sticky-fingered on the stately home circuit. You wouldn't think it to look at the coachloads of little old ladies that roll up on bank holidays, but they'll walk off with anything that isn't actually nailed down, and one or two things that are. This makes insurance companies even more twitchy than usual when it comes to providing cover, which in turn makes the security business a nice little earner for private investigation agencies like us. These days, security makes up about a quarter of our annual turnover, which is why Bill and I had decided I needed to learn that side of the business. It's impossible to make any building impregnable, unless you brick up the doors and windows, which makes it hard to get a decent light to do your petty point. The best you can do is make it obvious that you've made it as hard as possible to get in, so the prospective burglar goes away discouraged and turns over the next manor down the road. To make sure I got it right, as well as picking Bill's brains, I'd consulted my old friend Dennis, himself a recovering burglar. "You know the one deterrent, Brannigan?" Dennis had demanded. "Heat-seeking thermonuclear missiles?" I'd hazarded. "A dog. You get a big Alsatian, give him the run of the place, and your professional thief doesn't want to know. When I was at it, there wasn't an alarm system in the world that I wouldn't have a pop at. But dogs, forget it." Unfortunately, clients aren't too keen on having Rottweilers running around on their priceless oriental carpets. They're too worried about finding dog hairs, or worse, on the Hepplewhite. So Birchfield Place had relied, like most stately homes, on a state-of-the-art mix of hard-wired detectors on doors and windows, passive infrared detectors at all key points, and pressure-activated alert pads in front of any items of significance. Given the fail-safes I'd put in place, I couldn't for the life of me see how